There comes a time in life when you realize that the biggest battles you fight are not with the world, but within yourself. You wake up one day and understand that the distractions, the noise, the opinions of others, none of it truly matters. What matters is your growth, your peace, your purpose. But the problem is too many people are caught up in the cycle of proving, explaining, reacting. They are so focused on what others think that they forget to focus on themselves. They let their energy be pulled in 1,000 different directions. Chasing validation, chasing approval, chasing a version of success that was never even theirs to begin with. But what if you shifted your focus? What if instead of fighting to be seen, you chose to be still? What if instead of explaining yourself to people who will never understand, you simply let your actions speak? What if instead of reacting to every distraction, you locked in on your purpose and let the results do the talking? There is power in silence. There is strength in discipline. And when you learn to focus on yourself and stay silent, that is when true transformation begins. Your growth is personal. It is not a race, and it is certainly not a competition. Too often we find ourselves measuring where we are against where someone else is, as if life is some grand scoreboard. But the truth is, nobody else is walking your exact path. Nobody else carries the same burdens, the same dreams, or the same calling that has been placed on your life. When you focus on yourself, you begin to understand that growth is not about keeping up. It is about becoming. It is about shedding the version of yourself that no longer serves you and stepping into the person you were created to be. Growth is uncomfortable and it requires solitude. There are moments when you will feel like nothing is happening, like you are stuck in the same place, like everyone else is advancing while you remain still. But what if I told you that stillness does not mean stagnation? Sometimes the most powerful growth happens in the quiet, in the unseen moments when no one is watching. Just like a seed buried deep in the soil, transformation is taking place beneath the surface before anything is visible to the outside world. The roots must take hold before the leaves can emerge. If you rush the process, if you dig up the soil too soon looking for proof of progress, you risk disrupting the very foundation that is being built for your future. This is why your journey is yours alone. No one else can walk it for you. No one else can dictate the timeline of your becoming. Society will try to convince you that success has a deadline, that if you haven't achieved certain milestones by a certain age, you are behind. But who decided that? Who made those rules? If you spend all your time trying to fit into someone else's expectations, you will lose sight of the purpose that was uniquely designed for you. What is meant for you will never be measured by someone else's clock. Focusing on yourself means learning to silence the noise. It means stepping away from distractions, from opinions, from the voices that tell you what you should be doing instead of what you know in your heart is right for you. It is about creating space to hear your own thoughts, to listen to your own intuition, to connect with the vision that was placed inside of you before the world tried to tell you who you should be. Growth requires clarity. And clarity comes when you stop seeking external validation and start trusting yourself. There will be times when it feels lonely. When you choose to focus on yourself, you may find that certain people no longer fit into your journey. Some friendships, some relationships, some environments that once felt comfortable may begin to feel misaligned. And that is okay. Growth demands separation. You cannot take everyone with you into your next season. It is not personal, it is necessary. You are evolving, and evolution requires letting go of anything that holds you back. The more you try to hold on to people and situations that are no longer in alignment with your purpose, the harder your growth will be. Focusing on yourself also means accepting the process. Real transformation does not happen overnight. It is not about making one big change and suddenly arriving at your destination. It is about the small daily choices that build the person you are becoming. It is about discipline, consistency, and faith. It is about showing up for yourself even on the days when progress feels invisible. It is about trusting that every step, no matter how small, is leading you somewhere greater. You do not have to prove yourself to anyone. You do not have to justify your path or explain why you are choosing to move differently. Your growth is yours, and that is enough. When you focus on yourself, you begin to realize that everything you need has already been placed inside of you. You do not need to chase after what was never meant for you. You do not need to compare your journey to anyone else's. You only need to stay committed to becoming the best version of yourself at your own pace, in your own time. So let the world move at its own speed. Let people talk. Let them question your silence. Let them wonder what you are up to. While they are watching, you are growing. While they are doubting, you are evolving. And one day, without a single word, the results will speak for themselves. Silence protects your vision. When something is growing, when something is being built, when something is still in the fragile stages of development, it must be guarded. Too often we feel the need to announce what we are working on, to tell people about the dreams we are chasing, to share our next move before it is fully formed. But the problem with speaking too soon is that it exposes your vision to voices that were never meant to have access to it. The moment you start telling people what you are planning, you open the door for doubt, criticism, and distractions that can shake your confidence before you even begin. Not everyone will understand what you are doing. Not everyone will see the potential that you see. And that is not their fault. It is simply the way life works. Some people are limited by their own experiences, by their own fears, by their own inability to dream beyond what is familiar. So when you share your vision with them, they filter it through their own limitations. They project their doubts onto you, not because they want to see you fail, but because they cannot imagine success outside of what they know. They do not mean to discourage you, but if you are not careful, their words will plant seeds of uncertainty in your mind. That is why silence is powerful. Keeping your vision to yourself allows it to grow without interference. It gives you time to work through the details, to refine your ideas, to strengthen your belief in what you are doing before the outside world has a chance to question it. When you move in silence, you eliminate the pressure to explain yourself to people who do not need to understand. You free yourself from the weight of unnecessary opinions. You give yourself the space to create without the noise of expectations clouding your judgment. Every great thing starts in the dark. A seed does not grow in the sunlight. It takes root in the soil, hidden from view, developing in silence until it is strong enough to break through the surface. A masterpiece is not painted in front of an audience. It is crafted in solitude, brushstroke by brushstroke, until it is ready to be revealed. Even the most successful people you see today had seasons of quiet preparation, seasons where they were working, learning, and evolving away from the spotlight. They did not announce every step. They did not seek validation at every turn. They focused on the process, and when the time was right, their results spoke for them. There is a reason why successful people often advise moving in silence. It is not about being secretive for the sake of secrecy. It is about protecting what is sacred, your dreams, your goals, your progress. They are too valuable to be left unguarded. When you keep them close, you maintain control over your own narrative. You do not allow outside influences to shape your direction. You remain steady, focused, and intentional about how you move. Speaking too soon can also create unnecessary pressure. The moment you tell people what you are working on, they start watching, they start expecting updates, they start measuring your progress based on their own timeline, and suddenly you feel rushed to produce results. You start making decisions based on external expectations rather than internal alignment. You lose the freedom to pivot, to take your time, to move at the pace that is best for you. But when you stay silent, you give yourself the flexibility to change directions without explanation. You allow yourself the grace to fail in private, to learn from mistakes without an audience, to build something real before it is judged by the world. Silence also helps you filter out distractions. When you talk too much about what you are doing, you invite unnecessary conversations, opinions, and debates that can drain your energy. You spend more time explaining than executing, more time defending your vision than working on it. But when you stay quiet, you keep your focus sharp. You channel your energy into action instead of conversation. You become more productive, more disciplined, more committed to the work itself, rather than the perception of progress. It takes discipline to stay silent. It takes confidence to trust that you do not need validation from others. It takes faith to believe that what you are building is real, even when no one else knows about it yet. But that discipline, that confidence, that faith, that is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Because the ones who achieve are not the ones who talk the most. They are the ones who stay focused, stay committed, and let their success speak for itself. Energy flows where attention goes. Whatever you focus on expands, whether it is growth or distractions, progress or setbacks, success or failure. Your mind is like a garden, and every thought, every action, every bit of attention you give to something is a seed being planted. The question is, what are you watering? What are you nurturing? Because what you give your energy to will determine what grows in your life. Many people struggle to move forward because they are constantly dividing their focus. They start something but allow distractions to pull them in different directions. They set goals but get caught up in other people's opinions. Endless scrolling, unnecessary drama, and things that do not contribute to their purpose. Then they wonder why they feel stuck, why progress seems slow, why they are exhausted but not advancing. It is because their energy is being drained by things that do not serve them. If you want to see real change, you have to be intentional about where your attention goes. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they can focus on everything at once and still be effective. Multitasking may seem productive, but in reality, it scatters your energy. You end up doing a little bit of everything, but mastering nothing. You start projects, but do not finish them. You begin working on yourself, but allow distractions to pull you back into old habits. True progress comes from concentrated effort, from deciding that one thing matters more than everything else at this moment and giving it your full attention. Your energy is precious. Every moment you spend on something is a moment you cannot get back. That is why it is so important to guard it, to protect it, to make sure it is being used wisely. People often say they do not have enough time, but time is not the problem. Focus is. If you tracked where your attention goes throughout the day, you would realize how much of it is wasted on things that do not move you forward. The endless checking of notifications, the hours spent worrying about things outside your control, the conversations that drain you instead of uplift you. These are energy leaks. And just like a leaking cup cannot hold water, a distracted mind cannot hold progress. This is why discipline is so crucial. Focusing your energy requires making choices, sometimes hard ones. It means saying no to things that feel good in the moment, but do not align with your long-term vision. It means removing yourself from environments that do not support your growth. It means being okay with missing out on trends, conversations, and distractions that do not add value to your journey. Every successful person has learned this lesson. You cannot be available for everything and still expect to build something great. There is also power in focusing on what you do want instead of what you do not want. Too many people spend their energy worrying about problems instead of creating solutions. They focus on their fears instead of their faith. They talk about their struggles more than their strengths, but whatever you give attention to will grow. If you keep feeding negativity, it will consume you. If you keep focusing on obstacles, they will seem bigger than they are. But when you shift your energy toward possibilities, toward learning, toward taking small but consistent steps forward, you start to build momentum. Focusing your energy also means protecting your peace. Not everything deserves a reaction. Not every opinion needs to be addressed. Not every battle is yours to fight. When you spend your time proving yourself to people who do not understand your journey, you are wasting energy that could be used to actually move forward. When you let every little thing steal your focus, you are allowing outside forces to control your direction. Real power comes when you decide what is worthy of your attention and what is not. This is why alignment is key. When you are clear about what truly matters to you, distractions become easier to ignore. You stop chasing things that do not fit your purpose. You stop entertaining situations that drain your spirit. You start making decisions that reflect your goals, your values, your future. And once you lock in on what is important, once you commit to focusing your energy on growth, nothing can stop you. Not everything deserves your response. The moment you realize that, your life begins to change. Too many people spend their days reacting to negativity, reacting to distractions, reacting to the opinions of people who do not even know their purpose. They allow external forces to dictate their mood, their peace, and their direction. But growth requires discernment. It requires knowing what is worth your energy and what is simply a waste of time. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. It takes maturity to understand that you do not have to address everything. You do not have to prove your worth to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You do not have to argue with those who do not respect your vision. You do not have to defend yourself against every criticism or respond to every comment made about you. Some battles are won by standing still. Some victories come through restraint. When you know who you are and where you are going, unnecessary distractions lose their power over you. People will try to provoke you. They will question your choices, misunderstand your silence, and challenge your growth. Some will criticize you not because they genuinely care, but because they are uncomfortable with your progress. Others will try to pull you into their chaos because they have not yet learned how to manage their own emotion. If you are not careful, you will find yourself drained from fighting battles that do not belong to you, engaging in conflicts that do not serve you, and spending energy on people who were never meant to be part of your journey. You must protect your peace. Every time you respond to something that does not align with your purpose, you are giving it your attention, and what you give attention to, you empower. When you engage in negativity, it grows. When you focus on distractions, they multiply. But when you refuse to give them space in your mind, they begin to lose their hold over you. Walking away from unnecessary battles does not mean you are weak. It means you are wise enough to know what truly matters. Not every challenge requires confrontation. Some things resolve themselves with time. Some situations are best handled with silence. There is power in not reacting and choosing to focus your energy on things that elevate you rather than things that pull you down. The more you resist the urge to prove yourself, the stronger you become. You begin to realize that your purpose is bigger than a temporary disagreement, that your destiny is greater than a moment of frustration. You stop allowing your emotions to control your actions and start making decisions based on where you want to be, not where you are right now. Growth means learning to let go, letting go of the need to explain yourself to people who are not meant to understand your path, letting go of the need to react to every criticism that comes your way, letting go of the urge to defend yourself against opinions that do not shape your future. The more you grow, the more you understand that silence is a response too. Sometimes the best answer is no response at all. Your time and energy are too valuable to be wasted on things that do not align with your vision. If it does not bring you peace, let it go. If it does not contribute to your growth, ignore it. If it does not align with your purpose, walk away from it. There is power in choosing where to place your energy, and true strength is found in mastering the art of selective response. When you learn to stop reacting to everything around you, you step into a level of focus and clarity that allows you to build, to grow, and to become the person you were meant to be. Discipline creates transformation. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Many people have dreams, desires, and goals, but few have the discipline to see them through. They start with passion, but lose momentum when things become difficult. They get excited about change, but struggle to stay consistent. The truth is, success is not built on motivation alone. Motivation fades. Feelings fluctuate. But discipline remains. It is the ability to keep going, to push forward, to stay committed even when no one is watching, even when it is hard, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Discipline is a mindset. It is training yourself to move with purpose rather than impulse. It is learning to do what needs to be done whether you feel like it or not. So many people wait for the right mood, the right inspiration, the perfect conditions to take action. But the ones who achieve real success understand that discipline is not about feelings, it is about consistency. They show up when they are tired. They work when no one is clapping for them. They keep pushing when the results are not immediate. They know that transformation does not happen overnight, but through the daily decisions to stay committed. There will always be distractions. There will always be easier options, quicker routes, and tempting shortcuts. But discipline is choosing the path of progress over comfort. It is understanding that every choice you make is either building you or breaking you. Every decision is shaping your future, and discipline is what keeps you aligned with the bigger picture. It is what separates those who wish from those who achieve. The reason discipline is so powerful is that it removes emotions from the equation. It teaches you to act based on principles rather than temporary feelings. You do not always feel like working out, but discipline gets you moving. You do not always feel like working on your goals, but discipline keeps you focused. You do not always feel like making sacrifices, but discipline reminds you why you started. When you build the habit of discipline, you become unstoppable because you no longer wait for motivation. You create it through action. Success requires structure. Without discipline, time slips away. Procrastination takes over. Goals remain dreams instead of realities. But when you build discipline, you create routines that support your growth. You wake up with intention. You structure your day around what matters. You eliminate excuses and take responsibility for your progress. And over time, what once felt difficult becomes second nature. What once required effort becomes effortless. Discipline turns actions into habits. And those habits create the transformation you seek. Many people quit before they see results because they expect quick returns. They want to see progress instantly, and when it does not happen, they give up. But discipline teaches patience. It teaches you to trust the process, to keep going even when the reward is not immediate, to understand that the small steps you take daily are leading you somewhere greater. That is why those who succeed are not always the most talented, the most skilled, or the most gifted. They are the ones who refuse to quit. The ones who stay committed even when it is hard. The ones who trust that consistency will bring the results they seek. Discipline is also about control. It is mastering your impulses, training your mind to resist distractions, and staying committed to what truly matters. It is learning to say no to what does not serve you and yes to what challenges you to grow. It is having the self-awareness to recognize when you are making excuses and the strength to push past them. It is not about perfection, but about progress. Not about getting it right every time, but about getting back up every time you fall. When you build discipline, you take control of your life. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating it. You stop letting distractions dictate your direction. You move with purpose, with intention, with a mindset that refuses to be defeated. And when you do that, when you commit to discipline, transformation is inevitable. Because discipline is not just about what you do, it is about who you become. And when you become disciplined, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Consistency is the foundation of lasting success. It is not about what you do once in a while. It is about what you do every single day. Many people start strong but fade quickly. They begin with excitement, but the moment challenges arise, they step back. They expect instant results and get discouraged when things do not happen as fast as they hoped. But the truth is, real progress is not built in a day. It is built daily. Success is a result of showing up, putting in the work, and staying committed even when it feels like nothing is happening. Most people underestimate the power of small, repeated actions. They think that if they do not see immediate results, their effort is wasted. But success is not an event. It is a process. It is not about making one big move. It is about making small moves consistently over time. The strongest foundations are built brick by brick, and the same applies to personal growth, career success, relationships, and any goal worth achieving. What you do consistently will always outweigh what you do occasionally. There will be days when it feels like your efforts are unnoticed. Days when you question if the work is even worth it. Days when quitting seems like the easier option. But consistency is about pushing forward despite those feelings. It is about understanding that every step, no matter how small, is part of the bigger picture. The ones who succeed are not necessarily the ones who never struggle. They are the ones who refuse to stop. Consistency also builds credibility. When you are consistent, people take you seriously. They know you are not just someone who talks about goals, but someone who actually works for them. It builds trust, not just in how others see you, but in how you see yourself. When you keep showing up, you prove to yourself that you are reliable, that you are disciplined, that you are capable of following through. And that self-trust becomes a source of power. It becomes a reminder that you are not defined by your feelings in the moment, but by the commitment you have made to yourself. One of the greatest challenges to consistency is distraction. There will always be things trying to pull your focus away, temptations, doubts, setbacks, and even people who do not understand your journey. The key to staying consistent is learning to tune out the noise and stay locked in on your goal. It is not about perfection. It is not about getting it right every time. It is about being committed to progress, even when it is slow, even when you fall short, even when life throws unexpected challenges your way. Consistency is what keeps you moving forward. Success does not come from doing something once. It comes from doing it over and over again, refining it, learning from mistakes, and improving along the way. The strongest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the most impactful leaders, they all have one thing in common. They did not stop. They stayed consistent even when no one was watching, even when there was no immediate reward. That is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. The beauty of consistency is that it compounds over time. What may seem like small, insignificant efforts today will eventually lead to something much greater. It is like planting a seed. You do not see growth immediately, but with daily care and attention, one day it breaks through the soil. That breakthrough does not happen overnight. It happens because of all the unseen work that came before it. When you commit to consistency, you create momentum. At first, it may feel slow, but as you continue, the effort becomes easier and the results start to build on themselves. What once felt difficult becomes natural. What once felt impossible becomes achievable. And the more you stay committed, the more unstoppable you become. At the end of the day, the greatest investment you will ever make is in yourself. The noise of the world will always be there, the opinions, the distractions, the doubts, but none of it determines your destiny. What determines your future is your focus, your discipline, your consistency. When you learn to stop explaining yourself to people who were never meant to understand your vision, when you learn to let silence be your response, when you commit to the path even when no one is watching, that is when true transformation happens. Your power is not in proving yourself. It is in becoming so focused, so disciplined, so consistent that success becomes inevitable. The people who doubted you, they will see it. The ones who misunderstood you, they will recognize it. But by then, you will no longer need their validation. You will no longer be waiting for their approval, because you will know deep within that your growth speaks louder than words ever could. So stay focused, stay silent, and let your results be the only explanation you ever need.